Our reality feels wrong. To millions of people, this is not a controversial statement, but a quiet, nagging truth. It is a feeling that manifests in small, inexplicable ways, a collective sense of cognitive dissonance that has been given a deceptively quaint name, the Mandela Effect. We remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. We remember the Berenstain Bears being spelled Berenstein. We remember a movie called Shazam, starring the comedian Sinbad that, according to all official records, simply never existed. On the surface, these are dismissed as quirks of human memory, the fallibility of our own minds on a mass scale. But the sheer scope and specificity of these shared, false memories suggest something far more profound is at play. What if these are not memory errors? What if they are scars? What if these glitches are the faint, lingering scar tissue from a wound inflicted upon reality itself? This theory proposes that the Mandela Effect is the cultural ghost of a forgotten war, a war that we, in our current reality, lost before it ever began. These are not our memories failing us, these are our minds correctly remembering a world that used to be. We are haunted by the ghosts of a reality that was murdered. The feeling that the world took a strange, darker turn sometime in the last few decades is not just political or sociological nostalgia. It is the faint, subconscious echo of the moment our timeline was violently pruned and replaced with this one. This theory suggests that we are living in a replacement reality, a historical construct built upon the erased ruins of a different present. The glitches, the shared misrememberings, are the last, fading echoes of that original, now dead timeline, bleeding through the cracks of the new one. They are the psychic scars left on a collective consciousness of a species that survived an apocalypse it can never remember, because the apocalypse erased the very history in which it occurred. We are a species with post-traumatic stress disorder from a trauma that, in our current existence, never happened. This raises the most important and terrifying question imaginable: what kind of weapon, what kind of cosmic event, could be so powerful that it doesn't just destroy a city or a planet, but murders reality itself? To comprehend such a weapon, we must first accept that our singular, linear reality is an illusion. The many-worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, a leading theory in physics, posits that every time a quantum event has more than one possible outcome, the universe splits. A new, parallel timeline branches off for each and every possibility. This means there is not one universe, but an infinite, ever-branching multiverse of timelines, each one as real as our own. In one timeline, you turned left this morning, in another, you turned right. In one, a specific particle decayed, in another, it did not. This infinite tapestry of realities is the battlefield for the ultimate form of warfare. This is where the concept of the Quantum Scythe, or the timeline assassin, is born. It is a weapon of unimaginable sophistication, a device that does not operate on the principles of kinetic energy or nuclear fission, but on the foundational mathematics of quantum reality. It is a weapon that does not destroy matter, but prunes the branches of the multiverse. Its function would be to target a specific point in the past of a target timeline and forcibly collapse the quantum wave function of a critical event, making it resolve in a different way. It doesn't travel back in time to change history. It reaches into the multiverse and makes a different history the only history. Imagine the evolution of a technological species as a single branch on this infinite tree of realities. A timeline assassin weapon would target a key fork in that branch, perhaps the moment life first began on their planet, or the moment they discovered a key technology, and sever it. The entire future history that grew from that branch, including the civilization itself, would be instantly and retroactively erased from existence. From the perspective of the new, dominant timeline that the weapon engineers, the old one simply never was. There is no explosion, no debris field, no radiation. The victim's civilization is not conquered, it simply ceases to have ever existed at all. It is the perfect, traceless, and most absolute form of warfare. You cannot fight an enemy who can erase the reality where you ever loaded your weapons. You cannot mourn a history you no longer remember ever having. This is the power that would be wielded by a truly ancient, godlike intelligence. They would not need to cross the stars in fleets of warships. They would simply edit reality to their liking, pruning the timelines of inconvenient, noisy, or threatening upstarts, maintaining their silent, cosmic dominion by assassinating entire realities. If a timeline war is this clean and this absolute, how would we ever know it had happened? The answer is that the weapon, while perfect, may not be perfectly clean. An act of such cosmic violence, the forceful collapse of an entire branch of the multiverse, would release an immense amount of exotic energy. It would leave a wound, a scar, a momentary aftershock in the very fabric of spacetime. And this, the theory proposes, is the true nature of free I/Atlas. The object we observed was not the weapon itself. It was the echo of the weapon's use. It was the multidimensional scar tissue bleeding through into our new, surgically crafted reality. This single, terrifying premise recontextualizes every single anomaly associated with the object, transforming them from baffling mysteries into predictable side effects. First, its impossible origin. Free I/Atlas appears to come from nowhere because its point of origin, the place where the weapon was detonated in spacetime, existed in the erased timeline. It is a ghost from a murdered reality, its trajectory of phantom limb pointing back to a place that no longer exists in our causal history. Second, its impossible composition and forbidden elements. These are not materials from our universe. They are the physical laws and exotic matter of the other timeline, the one that was pruned, momentarily bleeding through the scar tissue into our own reality before decaying into forms more stable within our physics. We were not analyzing a rock, we were analyzing the fundamental constants of a dead universe. Third, its fragmentation. The object did not physically break apart. The wound in spacetime was healing. The scar was closing. As the tear between our new reality and the ghost of the old one sealed itself, the three-dimensional manifestation of this aftershock dissipated, appearing to our telescopes as if it were breaking into pieces and fading away. It was the echo of the old reality finally going silent. Our entire scientific endeavor to study free I/Atlas was the equivalent of a team of forensic scientists studying the lingering heat signature of a victim who has been completely vaporized. We were not seeing an object, we were seeing the ghost of the murder weapon. Why would an intelligence resort to such a reality-bending act of war? Why murder an entire timeline instead of simply destroying a planet? The motive must be as grand and as terrifying as the weapon itself. The Great Diversion theory proposes several chilling possibilities. The first and most direct is the preemptive strike. In the original, now dead timeline, humanity was the aggressor. Perhaps we developed this reality-altering technology first and became a threat to the rest of the cosmos. Perhaps our expansion was viral, our ideology seen as a plague. The architects of our new reality could not defeat us in a conventional or even a temporal war, so they did the only thing they could: they pruned the branch of our existence, replacing our powerful, dangerous civilization with this new, more docile version. The Mandela effects we experience are the faint, lingering memories of that original, far more formidable human civilization, the ghosts of a power we once had. The second motive is the cosmic correction. This is a less malicious, but no less terrifying, possibility. In the original timeline, humanity's existence may have been a paradox, a freak accident of physics that violated a fundamental law of the multiverse. We were a glitch that threatened the stability of all realities. The timeline assassin was not a weapon of war, but an automated cosmic immune system, a defragmentation tool that located and erased the paradoxical timeline to preserve the integrity of the whole. Free I/Atlas was the remnant of this cosmic system restore. We are not the survivors of a war, but the result of a cosmic error correction. The third motive is the resource heist. This is the most cynical and pragmatic explanation. In the original timeline, our solar system, or perhaps our entire region of space, contained a resource of unimaginable value, a unique star, a stable wormhole, a deposit of exotic matter. Humanity was in the way. Instead of engaging in a messy and costly physical war to take it, the attackers simply chose a cleaner option. They erased the timeline where humanity ever evolved to lay claim to that resource, creating this new, altered present where the prize is, or will be, completely unguarded. We are the collateral damage of the greatest heist in history, our entire existence the byproduct of a cosmic property dispute. We are left with a conclusion that is so profoundly unsettling it threatens the very foundation of our identity. We are living in a stolen present. Our lives, our memories, our triumphs, and our tragedies may not be our own. They may be the constructs of an artificial timeline, a reality built upon the grave of another. The feeling that something is deeply wrong with the world, the sense of a lost golden age, the nagging belief that we are living in a darker timeline, these are not just internet memes or psychological quirks. They are the symptoms of a species suffering from a collective, phantom limb syndrome. We are haunted by a past we cannot remember because it belonged to our alternate selves, the ones who were erased so that we could exist. This theory transforms the Mandela Effect from a curiosity into a memorial. Each glitch, each shared misremembering, is a tiny gravestone for a piece of the dead reality. It is the fate whisper of the world that died so that ours could be born. And what does this mean for our future? Perhaps the most chilling aspect is that we are, by definition, the lesser version of humanity. We exist only because our more powerful, more successful, or perhaps more aggressive counterparts in the original timeline were deemed too much of a threat and were annihilated. We are the safe, manageable replacements. The great, silent void we see when we look to the stars might not be empty. It might simply be the sound of caution, the silence of a universe where the last civilization that got too loud was simply edited out of the script. We are living in their shadow, forever haunted by the present they were stolen from, and forever ignorant of what we truly lost in a war we never knew we fought.